Following a bank robber. In a quiet town called Riverwood, there was a small bank on Main Street. The people of Riverwood trusted this bank. They kept their money there and went to the bank for their daily needs. Mr. Davis was the bank manager. He was a kind man, always smiling and helping the customers. One sunny morning, something unusual happened in Riverwood. A man dressed in black entered the bank. He wore a big hat and sunglasses, so no one could see his face. He walked up to the counter where Mrs. Clark, the teller, was working. "Put all the money in this bag," the man said in a deep voice. He handed Mrs. Clark a big black bag. Mrs. Clark was scared. She looked around, but no one could help her. The man showed her a note. The note said, "If you don't give me the money, I will hurt you." Mrs. Clark had no choice. She started to put the money in the bag. After the bag was full of money, the man grabbed it and ran out of the bank. He jumped into a car parked outside and drove away quickly. The people in the bank were shocked. Mr. Davis immediately called the police. The police arrived at the bank in minutes. Officer Jenkins, the chief of police, spoke to the witnesses. He asked Mrs. Clark to describe the robber. "He was tall and wore all black," she said, "but I couldn't see his face." Officer Jenkins looked at the security cameras in the bank. The cameras showed the man's car as he drove away. It was an old blue car with a dent on the side. Officer Jenkins made a note of this. "We need to find this car," he said to his team. Meanwhile, in another part of town, a young boy named Tim was riding his bike. Tim loved to explore new places. He rode his bike every day after school. That day, Tim decided to ride through the old factory area. No one went there anymore because the factory had closed many years ago. As Tim was riding, he saw a blue car parked behind one of the old buildings. The car looked strange. It was old and had a dent on the side. Tim remembered hearing about a robbery on the news. He thought this car might be the robber's car. Tim quickly rode his bike to the police station. He told Officer Jenkins what he saw. "I saw a blue car with a dent parked behind the old factory," Tim said. Officer Jenkins knew this could be a big clue. "Let's go check it out," Officer Jenkins said to his team. They all got into their police cars and followed Tim to the old factory. When they arrived, they saw the blue car. Officer Jenkins quietly told his team to search the area. The police split up and searched the old factory. It was a big place, full of empty rooms and dusty old machines. After a few minutes, one of the officers called out, "I found him!" The robber was hiding in a small room in the back of the factory. He was counting the money he had stolen. When he saw the police, he tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. The police quickly caught him and put handcuffs on him. "Good job, Tim," Officer Jenkins said. "You helped us catch the bank robber." Tim smiled. He was happy he could help. The police took the robber to jail. They returned the stolen money to the bank. The people of Riverwood were very thankful to Tim and the police. The town was safe again. Tim became a hero in Riverwood. The mayor even gave him a special medal for his bravery. Everyone in town talked about how Tim had helped catch the robber. From that day on, Tim kept exploring. But he was also more careful. He knew that sometimes, even in a quiet town like Riverwood, exciting and dangerous things could happen. And if they did, Tim was ready to help again. The story of the bank robbery in Riverwood was told for many years. It became a favorite story in the town, especially for children. And Tim, the young boy with a brave heart, always remembered that day as the day he became a hero.